Garlic the way from India and we like to say I cow dung toothpaste to brush my teeth. When people online make fun of me, I cry in rage like an angry man, baby. I click the report button until my fingers bleed. I spend my time online to report alcohol. I wash my whole face using cow dung soap. I drink cow urine, I love the taste of pee. But I get very angry when Twitter makes fun of me. You say India's a joke. We come on Twitter to spam and call. I can't take all this hate, I have no resort. I must click report, I must click report. I am an Indian cyber defender. You always make me mad, but I'll never surrender. I am an Indian cyber defender. When the truth makes me angry, I resort to reporting. I have a full telegram of reporters supporting. They say we are dirty and we sit in the street, but India is winning, we won't admit defeat. Every time you make fun of me because I eat cow dung and I drink cow pee, I report your post and rage like a man, baby. You say India's a joke. We come on Twitter to spam and call. I can't take all this hate, I have no resort. Sir, I must click report. Sir, I must click report.
Good morning, sir, I'm from India. I just got my student visa. I'm not a real student.
Social
I mean
Security,
to be rude.
delayed
I'm coming to
pensions,
your country to
shrinking.
deliver your food.
This system pays out every
It's a
single Monday.
temporary visa, but I'm here to stay. You might want me to leave, but I'm never gonna go away. I'm from India, and this is what we do. I wipe my butt with my bare hands when I do a poo. I don't use toilet paper, I don't use some dude. I use my stinky hands to deliver your food. I use my stinky hands to deliver your food.
Have you heard of Jesus?
I am your new neighbor. I am moving in next door. I'm bringing my roommates, all 24. All of them are from India too. And when we deliver your food, our hands are covered in poo. No, I don't wash my hands and no, I don't shower. Listen, son, India is a superpower. I'm moving to your country and I'm going to stay. I'm taking all the jobs and I work for our faith. And there's nothing you can do to ever make me go away, go away. I'm from India, and this is what we do. I wipe my butt with my bare hands when I do a poo. I don't use toilet paper, I don't use soap. I use my stinky hands to deliver your food. I use my stinky hands to deliver your food. I wipe with my hands when I do a poo poo. When I use those hands to deliver your food.
Let's talk about those guys, you know the ones I mean. The ones that come from India, they are everywhere these days it seems. They are short, smelly and brown. Oh wow, so gross. Ooh. Indian guys are not like the others. Their annoying voices drive me insane. They smell so bad, the stink just smothers. I wish I never had to see one ever again. My ears ring, my nose runs, and I start to cry. Oh no, he's trying to talk to me. Why? I don't want anything to do with Indian guys. No female likes them, it isn't a surprise. Every time I see one, part of me just dies. Every single time I come on social media and I open up my messaging box, I've got 20 notifications from India asking for ghosts. guys every time I see them online, and I don't feel safe around them when I'm alone. I am worried they will try to rape me all the time. We should deport them and send them all back home. I don't want anything to do with Indian guys. No female likes them, it isn't a surprise. Every time I see one part of me just dies. Every single time I come on social media and I open up my message inbox, I got 20 notifications from India asking for proof and veggie or sending pics of their cocks. Ew. Why do they stare at me when I go outside? It makes me just wanna run and hide. They're so creepy and I don't know what to do. And they stink so bad like curry and poo. I don't want anything to do with Indian guys. No female likes them, it isn't a surprise. Every time I see one part of me, it just dies. Every single time I come on social media and I open up my message inbox, I've got 20 notifications from India asking for proof and veggie or sending pics of their cocks. Gross. Fuck the Indian guys every time I see them online, and I don't feel safe around them when I'm alone. I am worried they will try to rape me all the time. We should deport them and send them all back home. I love being guys every time I see them online, and I don't feel safe around them when I'm alone. I am worried they will try to rape me all the time. We should deport them and send them all back home.
I'm Jim Sterling. I like the colour of money and the taste of dick.
All right, Chad, how we going? How we doing out here? Oh, I of course did not pick that music. We don't support such bigotry here on the show. You know, I'm gonna piss off some sensitive people on this episode, and they're probably gonna report me for playing those songs. Oh gosh. We had a super chat. We'll go ahead and put it up again.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Vander donated $25. Thank you very much for that. Just got back from some army bullshit overseas. It's good to be home. Well, I'm glad you're back in one piece. No one set off any fireworks around Vander anytime soon. But thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Glad you're back home safe. Okay, so where to begin here? See, a lot of you don't follow this bullshit, so I'm gonna have to bring you up to speed. This is a comic book character called Pitt. It's one of the Image Comics characters that most people forgot. Dale Keown, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. He was a Hulk artist back in the 80s and 90s. Or it might have just been the early 90s. But in 1993, he left Marvel on good terms, unlike most of the Image guys, to do his little creator-owned thing, which was just Hulk again. Really, it was just Hulk and Lobo combined. What I get that, I'm not even trying to be a dick. It's just it is what it is. It's Hulk and Lobo combined. It's just what if Hulk was Lobo? What if Lobo was Hulk? But anyway, so he makes Pitt Comics, 1993, over at Image. An excerpt from the Wikipedia here. The series became noted for its massive scheduling delays, with a 6-month break between issue 1 and 2. Let's see. Another thing that kept it sidetracked was, and I quote, a Pitt-related musical project called The Pitt Crew, consisting of Keown and 4 other musicians that had developed 10 songs, comprising a 42-minute master record. It's funny because the second... I looked on Mile High. There's 21 issues of Pitt, if you count the 1/2 issue, which Wizard used to put out those a lot. Then there's a 5-issue Pitt Crew miniseries, which I assumed was a continuation, but maybe it's a comic based on his band. I don't know. There's also a Pitt one-shot, and there's 2 Pitt crossover one-shots, one with Darkness, one with Hulk. All totaled, not counting the crossovers, there's 27 Pitt comics in total. If I'm counting Pitt Crew, which I don't know if that's canon or not, I don't fucking know. So there's less than 30 all totaled, even if you counted the crossovers. So Pitt went nowhere, as you might imagine. It was another Image character, for better or worse, lost in the sea of a whole bunch of forgettable Image characters. Chat says, never heard him. Correct. No idea who he was. Andrew Van Anderley says, it wasn't anything dangerous, just mostly admin stuff. Well, again, I'm glad you're back. Glad you're home. So, Pitt comes and goes in the 90s. Sputters around in the early 2000s. The last comic I could find is a crossover with another Image, specifically Top Cow character called The Darkness. But along comes Comics Gate and the Iron Age and the Rippaverse and all this other horse shit. All this other crowdfunding comics. So this guy decides, why not try and revitalize this with crowdfunding? Why not? He is apparently involved in Comics Gate. I don't know a ton about the guy. I don't follow a lot of it. The most is recently I started listening to Ethan's Trash Cast. And I'm friends with Liam Gray. That's about the extent that my toe has ever dipped in that. I've made no secret that I don't... It's not even a politics thing with me. Because I'm probably further right than a lot of these guys on some issues. They want to send immigrants back. I just want to send it back their heads. In Minecraft, Susan, Ghost of Susan, whatever's going on YouTube. Anyways. I just didn't think comics need crowdfunded. I never was that. And I just recognized this for a whole lot of hype. A whole lot of pay piggery. A whole lot of culture war horse shit. Not a lot of actual comics. They're good. There's good stuff in it. I mean, I've said before, I like Cyberfrog. What I've read of it. The Razor Fap. Yeah, the Razor Fap in it. All that shit. So, our good buddy Dale, who created Pitt, he sees all this shit, I guess, and decides he's going to crowdfund some Pitt comics. Okay. Chat mentions David Sereni's channel is returned from dead YouTube. Yes, somebody showed that to me in my Discord. And he obviously saw that it did because he changed his name to L. Arini, which I'm just glad he's finally taken the L. But yeah, good. I hope he makes more videos. Hope he does great. I don't have anything against Davis. We make our jokes over here, but there's no real emotional beef anymore on this end, at least. Anyways. So, we're going to crowdfund some Pitt Comics, chat. We're going to crowdfund some fucking Pitt Comics. I bet this will be great, right? You know what I bet he'll do? And newsflash, he's not going to do either one of these. He's either going to do a revival / reboot of this beloved character of his. Pitt in the modern world, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe he'll do a complete compendium of his work on this character, his seminal work. All 27 issues. Maybe he'll even try and get the crossovers involved. I mean, probably won't be able to get the Hulk rights for the Hulk crossover, but Darkness probably don't cost that much. Maybe you could get that one. I don't know. Good solid compendium of the complete Pitt, in case you were dying to know what this combination of logo and Hulk is all about. So let's check it out over on Indiegogo. Let's see if we can get to Windows Capture. See what's going on. Okay. Let's check it out. We got a little video. Tell us about this. Issues 1/2, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in trade paperback format. Well, that's a little disappointing right from the get-go. Just a little tiny trade paperback. Oh man, that's a little disappointing. But whatever. Let's go forward. Let's see what's going on here. Look, man, he's made over $76,000 already. By the way, let's do the math since we did this with the Rippaverse shit. Let's see what the average customer paid here. 76834 divided by 552. Wow, the average customer. The average customer. This is a lot better average than they were doing over at the Rippaverse. The average customer spent over $139.19. 139.1920289 blah 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 to be specific. So wow, people are paying some big money for Pitt. I bet you that is a genuine fucking enthusiasm for the character and the lore, and not culture warrior shit and pay piggery. But let's look at the trailer here. Oh, cool. We're animating the art with AI. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. Cool. It's not gross at all. The art's gorgeous, at least when AI isn't distorting it. Chat says if you can't get the Hulk rights, get the rights to the Incredible Bulk and recolor in purple. I don't know if that would work, but it might be worth a shot. Who knows? I'm sorry. I really don't want to hear the butt rock. I'm sorry, Chad. I just don't. Issues 1 through 4 and the 1/2 issue. His masterpiece, Chat. I love how the AI animation is distorting all the fucking word bubbles, too. That's cool. Special Michael Turner cover. Awesome. All right. Well, we learned a lot there, I think. Chad says he's the guy from Kid Icarus. No, I think that's a different Pitt. We should have a crossover, though. Should have a Pitt versus Pitt. A Pitt off. Let's see. What do we got going on here? What can we get? Let's get to we got bundles and stuff, but let's look at, like, what are we basically just selling here? If we can, here we go. Choose your perk. Right off on this side. Let me make sure you can see it. Okay. Okay, so $90 is the Beast bundle, which is 2 books, which I believe is just the trade paperback twice with 2 covers. I don't really know why you'd want that. You can get a t-shirt with just the Pitt logo for $32, not actual Pitt. You can't actually get the Pitt on your t-shirt. That's too much awesomeness. But for a mere $32, you can get the Pitt logo. So you can walk around and people can be like, is that a band? What are you? Cover B is a mere $45. But that's the special Michael Turner cover. That's probably the pricier one. Let's keep going to the regular. $45. $45 for a fucking trade paperback featuring 5 comic books. This should be $20. And by the way, that's 10% off. It's supposed to be $50. This is supposed to be $50 for a trade paperback of 5 comics. You would think the compendium, the hypothetical compendium featuring at least 27 issues, at least 21 of the regular series, would be the $50 one. And even that's a bit much, but okay. By the way, chat, these are books that are in the dollar bin of your local comic book store, okay? I'm not saying Pitt is good or bad. By the way, I haven't read it. I've read 2 Pitt comics ever in my fucking life. I read, I believe, issue 9, because when I was like 13, I bought a pack. They used to have, Toys R Us have packs of comics, which would have like a comic in the front of it that you've heard of, like Superman or X-Men or Spider-Man or Batman, and then a bunch of dog shit stuffed in there that you've never heard of. And one of them was Pitt number 9. And I had no idea what the fuck was going on. But admittedly, I came into it at Pitt number 9. I also did read the Pitt Hulk crossover. And you would think it being a crossover, you would want to really explain your character and get people into it and hooked. I don't remember a fucking thing about it. I remember not particularly caring for it. But maybe if I sat down and read the complete Pitt, if I got the whole story, maybe I'd be blown away. Again, I read the 90s Cyberfrog recently and thoroughly enjoyed it. So maybe if I had the Pitt compendium, I'd be blown away. Maybe if I just started at the beginning and really got into it with a basic trade paperback, I'd be blown away. I would be willing to spend $20. You know what? It's indie comics. It's indie comics. I understand that they don't have the big machinery of Marvel and DC and even Image and IDW and Dynamite and Boom and Dark Horse behind him. I realize this is a guy trying to make it on his own. I would be willing to go $30 on a trade paperback, just to respect the indie artists. 45. It's fucking ridiculous. Chat points out estimated shipping June 2026. Yeah, June 2026. So you spend $50 on this, and then you get it a year later. Would you like, what the fuck is even this? What was I doing? What did I buy? Pitt? What is this? I would, JDA put out a video. I didn't watch it because it's JDA, and I would literally just rather dig my eyeballs out with a rusty spoon than watch a JDA video. But he put out a video, and I saw the thumbnail where it was like, Comicsgate's dead because this crowdfunding thing didn't make a bajillion dollars. But you know what? I would argue that the fact that it made $76,000, just about $77,000 on, again, I'm going to be diplomatic here, a forgotten Image character on a trade paperback that's more than double what it should cost. I would argue that's a testament to the fucking steam that Comicsgate still has behind it. That 552 people got together and threw almost $77,000 at this joke. These aren't new comics. This is a trade paperback of 5 issues. Not even the complete Pitt. You know, I understand. Look, I don't know if Pitt Crew, now that I've read in the Wikipedia that that's a band, I don't know if that's even canon or if that's a comic about his band, which sounds like the most navel-gazing horse shit in the world. So take those 5 out. You're talking about 22 comics to put in this. I understand you're not going to put the Darkness and the Hulk crossovers in there. It would be cool if you did, but they're probably, certainly the Hulk one, prohibitively expensive. And that's assuming that your association with Comicsgate doesn't blacklist you from getting them at any price. I understand that. The rest of it should be in there. It should be a complete fucking thing. Part of why this crowdfunding initiative is such a shit show is, from what I understand, Dale Keown, again, forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but Dale, we'll call him Dale. He doesn't have any of the original art anymore. He doesn't have any of the files or the original art or nothing like that. He's literally making this trade paperback by scanning pages out of old comics. Which some of the professional shit has done before. Like, I know IDW did that with some of the TMNT Adventure shit and stuff. Of course, they didn't crowdfund it. They didn't expect you to put upfront costs for it. And they were also reasonably fucking priced trade paperbacks. But I understand that's probably a time-consuming process for them. It's probably difficult. But at the same time, I think to myself, I'm sorry, isn't this your masterpiece? You didn't keep your original art? You didn't keep any of this shit? It's almost like you didn't really care. And that's why there was like, it's almost like you put out Pitt #1. Like a lot of the Image artists, you never really gave a fuck. It's almost like you put out Pitt #1 and you made a bajillion butt fucking dollars. And the reason there was a 6 months delay is because you were busy being fucking N-word rich and spending that money. And then when that money started to run out, then you banged out Pitt #2. That, I suspect, is what happened. If I had to guess. But I don't know. Maybe that's not what happened. I don't know. But, you know. That would be my guess, chat. Chat said, to be fair, no old comics have digital art and probably sold the art long ago. I don't know, man. I feel like the other Image boys, for all their faults, have no problem getting good quality fucking material together to reprint Savage Dragon and Spawn and hell, even Youngblood. Not that Youngblood deserves a reprint or even its initial first printing. Nonetheless, I feel like those guys genuinely believed in their fucking projects enough to have done that. And yeah, by the 90s, we were scanning shit into computers to print it. I mean, you know, it was a much more arduous process than it would be these days. But computers were involved, make no mistake. At that professional level, yes. Now, when I say all this shit, right? I go on Twitter and I'm like, dude, $45 for a 5-issue trade paper, that's ridiculous. This entire thing is embarrassing. I get a lot of angry feedback. Some of it's like, oh, I guess you're a Rippaverse fan. Far from it. Okay? I don't hate this or wish it would do badly at all. It would be cool if this would have been something worthwhile and churned out at a reasonable price or something. Like, oh wow, the Pitt guy got his fucking shit in a nice compendium, maybe a nice hardcover or something like that. Good for him, you know. Preservation of the history of comics, if nothing else. Awesome. Like, I don't have any... This isn't Rippaverse. I want Rippaverse to fail. Let me be clear. I want Rippaverse to fail. I want Eric July to be penniless and alone in a gutter. Okay, because he's a piece of shit. He's a 90 IQ moron. He's a grifter. He's a culture warrior, culture war profiteer. And his comics are shit from a butt. Pitt is goofy and dumb, and it looks like you mashed Hulk and Lobo together. But whatever, man. It was of the time, at least. I could see someone getting a kick out of it. You know, nobody pretended to like Pitt because they thought it would own their political enemies. But anyways, I go on Twitter and I'm like, yeah, this is a joke of a crowdfund. This is embarrassing. I can't believe this. I can't believe this made even $77,000. What's wrong with you people? And I get like, if you don't like it, just stop complaining and being cunty. It's like, no. I'm going to complain because they're legitimate complaints. I might have bought a decently priced trade paperback. I might have bought a compendium. I don't know anything about Pitt, but fuck it. You might have been able to get me to just give it a good shot. If I don't like it, I could have sold it to a comic book store for some store credit. No big fucking loss. Whatever. But I'm not paying 50 fucking dollars for a trade paperback that should cost 20 that I get a year from now, maybe. I might be dead a year from now. I don't know what's going to happen in a year from now. Maybe the country will be on fire. I don't order comics a year in advance. Are you fucking high? Like, boy, I'm going to really want to read this in June of 2026. This is embarrassing. It's bad, and Dale should feel bad. Okay? I understand he's blacklisted, I guess, because of Comicsgate or something, but it still feels like you could have gone to some publisher and gotten this shit reprinted properly. But you see, you didn't want to do that. Okay, because it wasn't even about putting out a product. It was about the pay piggery. It was about this fucking feeding frenzy. This is a bubble. I'm sorry, this pops. You want to talk about sustainability? How many times do I have to hear the comics themselves are overpriced because they're like $3, $4, $5 a piece? You know, oh, comics are so overpriced. Manga's so much better because it's printed on garbage fucking paper in black and white. You know, cool, I guess. I don't want to read black and white stories backwards that are about incest and schoolgirls. I'm sorry, it's not my cup of tea. But whatever. Oh, comics are so overpriced. Instead, you should buy a comic that is twice what it should be that you get a year from now. That's ridiculous. That's not sustainable. There is a hype and a movement behind things right now that sustains this, but it's not to sound like JDA, but this doesn't work long term. And it's not like the Rippaverse model works either, okay? Because look, the Rippaverse model might have worked if he wasn't putting out shit from a butt, but he's putting out shit from a butt, okay? It's badly written, it's badly drawn, it's tracing 3D assets. You know, it double page splash pages that are printed on 2 different pages. It's split up. Like it's embarrassing. And it's not that all of this is embarrassing and shit, but like you got to get away from these kind of models. even if you insist on doing the quote unquote crowdfunding thing, it's got to turn into eventually like a pre-order. Like, oh, here's the next issue of such and such. It'll be out in 3 months. Get it now, kind of thing. Okay, fine. That's something that's more sustainable. If you want to claim that the brick and mortar comic book stores are the dinosaur model and will go away, I keep hearing that. I keep hearing about the death of the comic book industry and have since 1997, at least, that I've noticed it. Oh, all the comic book stores are closing. I guess. I keep hearing that. I'm not seeing that, in all fairness. But I keep hearing it. I'm assured by people that are totally not grifters that that is indeed happening. Despite the fact in rural buttfuck Lancaster, Pennsylvania, of all places, I have 3 thriving comic book stores. Within a couple hours drive of me is a couple dozen thriving comic book stores. But I'm assured that that model is going the way of the dinosaur, and it doesn't make any possible sense for us to put these comics in comic book stores where comic book fans might actually want to buy them. Instead, we just sell to pay pigs and culture warriors, I guess. A lot of money to be made in it right now. But since we're talking about Image, there was a lot of money to be made for Image in 1993. Not so much by about 1998. Really not so much by about 2001. But like, I feel like it feels so pointless to even have this discussion, because it's like, you know, when I started really getting involved in the church heavily, there's a lot of ridiculous shit in there. The Israel worship, for example. You know, a lot of other just unbiblical things that evangelicals cling to. You know, the culture of evangelicals is retarded. The politics of them is pretty retarded. And I guess I thought, like, early on in the church, like, you could sway people. You could just talk to people and be like, hey, is this really... But nobody wants to hear it. Like, all you do is just... People just get mad at you. You know, and, you know, I was right on James McDonald, and it did nothing but cost me. It's not like I helped to bring him down. I'd love to jerk myself off with delusions of grandeur, but his fall was inevitable. He brought himself down. You can't even really argue somebody like Julie Roars or some of the other critics of him did it. He brought himself down ultimately. You know, if I was wiped out of the timeline magically, his fate would have been no different. So all I did was just lose fucking relationships, and it just did nothing but cost me. So likewise here, I'm pointing out something that's very, very obvious. You should not pay $50 for a reprint of comics you can dig out of a fucking dollar bin. For a reprint of 5 of them that you could, maybe if it was all of them in a nice hardcover, that'd be one thing, you know, with some nice little behind the scenes thing. That's the other thing. Ethan's Cyberfrog thing, to his credit, he's got a bunch of like interviews in there, and he's got little pages where he talks about like what was going on in his career at the time and shit. Some cool behind the scenes shit, as well as a complete collection. He's got the Creed crossover in there, which is some other little indie character that he doesn't own, you know. So like, what I sit here and I think, what am I doing? What does this do anything for me other than piss people off? I mean, maybe it entertains you and you send me some super chats, and that's cool, and I hope it does. But I'm not moving the needle here. Even if I had a huge audience, I'm not moving the needle here, guys. If I had 5,000 people listening to me right now, what I'm saying would not move the needle, because the only people that are anti-Comicsgate are either lefties that just hate it because, you know, these creators agree with 55% of the country right now, or it's the subset that broke off that call themselves not Comicsgate, even though they are the Rippertards and those guys. They're just mad that Ethan Van Sciver made fun of them, like those idiots. I'm Iron Age, you know, says Razor Fist as he's writing his Western comics while sniffing a 15-year-old girl's panties. Like, this is anti-consumer. Wasn't this supposed to be a pro-consumer movement? Wasn't that part of this? I guess that it just became pay piggery. Again, when I picked up the collection of Ethan's 90s Cyberfrog, I was like, this is great. I even grabbed the figure off eBay because it hadn't shot up in price or nothing like that. I was like, cool, man. Cyberfrog's cool. How about these new Cyberfrog comics? Can I get them? And he was just launching a campaign. Oh, it's the prequel. It's a good jumping on point. Frog meets World. Like, cool, man. I'll check this out. Oh, it's $25 for a comic that comes out next fucking Christmas. Like, yeah, I want to read Cyberfrog. I don't want to feel like I'm getting bent over to do it. Not too much to ask? I don't know. I guess it is. I don't want the Pitt crowdfunding to fail. I don't have anything against Pitt. It's not like it's Youngblood, where it's just objectively dog shit. It's not like it's Isom, where it's shit from a butt. No, it's Pitt. It is what it is, man. You want some goofy 90s shit? Here you go. Here's Lobo. Here's if Lobo and Hulk had a baby. There you go. I guess this should have been an amalgam. He should have taken this to Marvel and DC and put it in the amalgam universe. This is Hulkbo or something. Lulk. It's Lulk. So that's always been my objections to this. I don't think comics need crowdfunding in the first place. I've never really bought that idea. It's one of the cheapest costs of entry media in existence. You write it, you draw it, you print it. But yeah, printing ain't free. You know, for the absolute startup guy, I guess I can understand why you'd crowdfund. But then once you're like crowdfunding a whole bunch of stuff, you know, again, I'll pick on Ethan a little bit. You know, he says he made $10 million with these crowdfunding things. Now, yeah, that's what he made. It's not what he pocketed. You know, that was the operating cost of the company and that kind of thing. I get that. But you made $10 million and you're still expecting the customer to put up the upfront costs? What? Why? Why is that? And this is something that affects the mainstream companies, by the way. Skybound, which has it's an Image subsidiary. It's published at Image, but Skybound is the company that Robert Kirkman owns. You know, they Invincible, Walking Dead, that kind of shit. They're publishing Transformers comics right now. Supposedly doing really good stuff with it. The whole Energon universe. You got G.I. Joe involved and shit. Whatever, cool. I'm a casual Transformers fan at best, but I've heard good shit. They put out a big compendium of the Marvel Transformers series. even has the issue with Spider-Man in it. Went out of the way to get the rights, to their credit. The crowd funded it. It's a fucking reprint of 40-year-old comics that they had to crowdfund. Hasbro is a billion-dollar company. Skybound and Image, while not billion-dollar companies, have more than a few fucking nickels to rub together. They didn't need your money up front to make this fucking thing a reality. But apparently, I mean, if they see that, you know, in a world where almost $77,000 in the course of 2 days gets thrown at Dale over here to make the most low-effort fucking Pitt reprint he can possibly do, why wouldn't the big companies do it? Chet says, but you have to buy and read Pitt to own the woke skulls. I know, you have to own the libs. You have to spend $50 on what should be a $20 Pitt trade paperback to own the libs, chat. Trigger the libs. We're gonna save the West with Pitt fucking reprints. Chet says, to be honest, if Marvel and DC was putting out top quality comics on a consistent basis for the last several years instead of unreadable garbage, Comicsgate would be non-existent. I mean, that's a large portion of it. None of these creators should be blacklisted, by the way. I don't even inherently think like left-wing shitbags should be blacklisted. You should just have different voices in the fucking industry. Ethan's one of the best artists DC ever had. There's no reason he should be blacklisted. I understand part of it is that he's a jerk. By his own admission, by the way. I think that probably has equal parts with his politics, but his politics definitely played a big role there. I don't know, chat. I see a bunch of people on Twitter. They're all excited about the Pitt thing, or they're mad about it because they don't like Ethan Van Sciver specifically, even though he's not the one doing it. But that's where we're at. I just look at it and say, wow, this could have been something cool, and it's not. It's not. It's butt fucking the audience, is what it is, in my humble opinion. Was that old cartoon on YouTube where the guy goes in for GameStop, like to trade in or something? He's like, "Do you want to try our new deal? We call it a butt fucking. Can we interest you in a butt fucking?" Well, that's what this is. Can Pitt interest you in a butt fucking? I don't know, chat. I don't think I want a butt fucking from Pitt. Apparently, 552 people did, though. God bless them, because that's what they're going to get. Well, that's all I have. I didn't really have anything else to talk about. I just wanted to vent. I really just wanted to vent, if nothing else. It doesn't accomplish anything. All I've accomplished is making people mad at me, if that, or rambling to an audience that doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about or care about fucking Pitt of all fucking characters. But there you go, chat. And hey, if you want a $50 hardcover of 5 books you could dig out of a dollar bin, and you find your way over to Indiegogo. Well, that's about all we got for tonight, folks. If you enjoy the content I put out, do consider supporting the show. Streamlabs.com/TheBeckloff. PayPal.me/TheBeckloff. And I'll put a link to the Amazon wishlist down below where you can buy me some of the dumb shit that I like. It's not Pitt comics. It's other comics. But apparently you can't buy Pitt comics at a reasonable price. That's about it for tonight, folks. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Beckloff out.